Hello and welcome back to another episode 8 of Kofi and Ren. I am Ren, and actually now I'm Kofi, and this is
Ren. My name is Randall Holmes.
Yep, I'm Noah DaCosta.
I'm 5'5".
I am 6'1", and
That actually feels worse than me saying 5'5".
Why? You're gonna violate me like that?
Nah, because you know what? Even though technically I diss your height more, to say I'm 6'1" when I'm 6'4" is just that felt crazy. Even though I just did the same thing to you, I don't know. Just felt.
But you are 6'1" though.
I'm 6'4".
When have you been 6'4"?
Wait, do you actually think I'm 6'1"?
Bro, you're just like an inch taller than me.
Oh, okay, no, okay, no, never mind, forget it. Okay.
What do you mean, forget it?
Okay, no,
it's calm.
oh, no, okay, I thought you were being serious for a sec.
No, I am serious.
Are you actually?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a public statement announcements for our listeners that that's actually our actual height. So I'm 6 foot and Noah's 6'1". But I hope you guys enjoying the last couple of weeks. We've done some like serious podcasts, and I think we've been kind of I don't know if you call it serious, but like we've done some wholesome content. Shout out to actually d.idget on Instagram. I never actually got your name, and I'm so sorry. I only know you as your Instagram handle, but you've always been showing love every single episode. So I just wanted to do a shout out and thank you for the appreciation.
And sick art as well.
Yes, sick artwork. But today is going to be a little bit more chill. We're not going to be having introspective. What is masculinity? What is
yeah.
And we're just going to be talking about recent things that's been happening in
the music
life.
industry.
Music industry, life, yeah. Things we haven't really caught up with. But is there? And actually, how have you been now? How's life been for you recently?
I've been alright, bro. It's been I always say busy, which is like a super boring and generic answer, but it's really true. Like, I think it's only the last 2 days where I've been trying to actually like kind of properly cross things off my list. Like, I've enrolled to uni now, sent out some important emails I need to send off. There are still some more I've got to send. I've got to finish editing some stuff, but it's been good generally. I think I've been feeling very positive the last year, to be honest. It's been a pretty the last few months have been pretty positive.
God is good.
Amen.
All the time.
But yeah, I've been alright. How about you?
Life's been good. Life's good.
What's that?
I mean? Just as good. It's good. God is good. Things in my life have been good.
Yeah.
I'm in a
what aspects? I'm joking.
I'm in a self-regulated place. Work has been going smooth. I've been busy, but also been enjoying it. Spending time with people I care about. Spending time with people that's been making me happy. So
indeed.
Yeah.
Like how you spent time at the party I had on Saturday.
Oh,
like that one. Yeah.
I thought.
No. Carry on, bro. Carry on. No, I'm joking.
Do you want to speak about that?
Oh, actually, I can. We could talk about house parties, actually.
Yeah.
This actually wasn't planned, but actually, I can go into this.
Yeah, go.
Well, yeah. Basically, the reason why I say house parties is because at the time of filming this, I had a house party. Well, it was me, my sisters and I were hosting. We had a house party in this very place, and I can't speak for everybody else, but I had a fantastic time. I absolutely loved it. Like I was a little bit nervous when planning it. I wasn't freaking out because generally everything was kind of going to plan wise. Like there was a good plan, got this. So everything went smoothly in the lead up. But I was kind of just like, because I live kind of far out. So I was like, people are going to show up, the vibe's going to be right. But it was perfect. Like it's to be honest, it's one of my favorite parties that I've been to.
That's it. Just to say that it was your own party.
Yeah. No, genuinely. So one of my favorites. It's like top 5.
Yeah, because in my experience, like the last house party that I threw was like on New Year's Eve, and I thought it was gonna be a good time, but like I think I invited the wrong group of people.
Right.
Like, no offense to the people there, like they're good people, but like they were playing board games when I wanted to dance, and I was so like the clock. When 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and you're not in a good mood.
Yeah. Yep. I do.
No way. And so I have like a bit of scars like throwing house parties because I just like have that in the back of my mind. Like, but maybe in the future, like I wish I was there. I was in Sydney with my family. My family just randomly would know if there was a house party or we're going to Sydney. But That was a good time and stuff. But I saw some of the videos Jody and stuff and that were posting for Nash, and I was just like,
it was top tier. It was top tier. I think it was just really good because I was very careful with the guest list and everything like that. So like I was really just like making sure people that I'm really close with, really respect, or just kind of really mess with,
or people that are gonna bring the vibes,
exactly. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. Like I feel like, you know, I think my biggest worry was that people might not properly respect the house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But everyone was super respectful. I think what was really nice is having my different group of friends interact with each other, and then everybody, like I had people from different groups saying, oh wow, I've got some really like cool friends, you've got really great friends. And that for me was very nice to hear, because I'm just like, it's nice to hear that these different groups, because I had my boys from school there, and then my other group from school there, and then I had some of my friends from like the kind of creative scene, then I had like some of my radio friends there, and I mean I'm probably forgetting another as well. It wasn't just me as well, it was just some of Jesse and Karis's friends, but I had the bulk because I've got the biggest circle. And it was really great. It was just really wholesome, and I was lit, bro. I was lit too.
And you know, it's a good thing that I also brought up Sydney as well, because like I think because going there, like I forgot what time that their like party or club night shuts off, but it's like really
1 a.m.
Yeah, crazy, or something really small. So I think like the house party scene is like a lot bigger of a more.
It's supposed to be. I went to one house party when I was there, like one of the times I was there last year, Dusty.
Oh, really?
But that could have been just the one, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think that's something that here in Melbourne we got to do just a bit more of, because it's like you can actually 100%. Get to speak to people. You can't speak to people at a club or like some loud music blasting. It sucks.
I actually I love house parties for exactly that reason. Like, I mean, like there's obviously you have the comfort of a house.
Yeah.
Even so you can turn up, but then you can go to a different section and chill. Like some people were chilling in the garden because we had some bean bags out and some fairy lights. It was like a really, really nice. Then others were like kind of in the main thing. We didn't mean for this to be the dance floor, but the main area kind of ended up being the dance floor. So people were kind of dancing, turning up there. I was drenched with sweat, bro. So
I know how you go down on the dance floor.
Yeah, man. And then like some of them were playing beer pong. And then for like, not everybody could go upstairs, but some people were upstairs. Like, you know.
Yeah.
They were chilling up there. It was just great, man. It was like, it really filled my tank. I think to be honest, I think part of why my week has been good is because I'm kind of still coming off the high from that.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But it was amazing. I loved it. I definitely obviously I'm not going to throw like a house party like in the next, it's probably going to be a while to the next one, because it's not my house to throw it in.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to do just more things at the house in general. Like I think that it also kind of bolstered my confidence to host people more. Like because I realized I love hosting as well. Like just having people over, facilitating. Like I was all over the place. I kind of like making sure things were good. And not I wasn't the only one, but like mum was helping out like massively, especially as I kind of got more lit throughout the night. But I think house parties are the best. Yeah, just because you can connect with people properly.
Yeah, I forgot. I think like for me, my hosting things have just been like dinner parties recently.
Yeah.
But maybe soon because I do have the space for it at mine.
I've been trying to tell you, and your mum's been trying to tell you.
No. They say that, but they don't really mean it. They don't really mean it. So
that said, though, if you need hosting,
Mr. DaCosta.
What can I say?
Anyway, one thing I actually did want to speak about this week. I don't know if any of you listeners really keep up to what happens in the music industry or things like that. Sorry to like switch gears.
No, it's all good.
But one thing that has piqued my interest is Chris Brown recently did a collaboration with.
Let me correct you a little bit. So Chloe Bailey is her single, and then in it she's collaborating with Chris Brown. I don't think it's dropped yet. Let me see real quick. Yeah, so she announced it a week ago, and it comes out. Well, actually, at the time of filming, it actually comes out. So by the time this is dropped, this song should be out, and it features Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And a lot of fans have been in dismay. Obviously, like the top comments are celebrities hyping it up, but then you have like the rest of the comments, and it's just like, Chloe, this isn't you. We will not be listening. Side eye for real. People aren't happy. Some people are kind of like give him a break. It's been a long time. People need to mind their own business as well. It's not just people against it. Was Usher not available?
Was Usher not available?
Chloe, we were rooting for you.
So Chloe Bailey is I've mentioned her on the podcast before. She's like this. Her and her sister Hailey are like big pop-ish superstars. She can dance,
kind of R&B, kind of pop R&B.
R&B. She can dance. She can sing. They very, very talented.
They have beautiful locks as well. I love their hair. Side note.
Yeah,
we need more locks in the game. Unrelated, but shout out to locks.
And very, very attractive women.
Of course.
And yeah, when I saw that post go up, like, and the hate Chris Brown got, I was just like, damn, man, like, can we give this brother like a break at least for like 1 second? Like, I see that, and because it's been so long since I've seen a Chris Brown really do some like foolish behavior. Like, it's been a minute. I was just like, I didn't even think to that until like it was spoken about, and I was like, I'll allow it. Like, yeah.
See, and this is where the disagreements begin.
Okay.
Because for me, I saw that, and I was baffled and confused for a few reasons. One, because I don't get why. I mean, it's going to happen, obviously. And it makes sense as to why it happens. Obviously, he's a big artist. A lot of people have grown up with him, blah, blah, blah. But I never understand when female artists collaborate with Chris Brown, just because this dude has not shown respect for women since, ever since the whole thing with Rihanna. It's just caught repeatedly. And
so what actually has happened? Because I think for most people who don't keep an eye to like things, like me especially, I don't really keep an eye to like people's business that much. Like, I only recently started following the Shade Room. So
oh my god.
so when people say there's like Chris Brown has been like doing lots of stuff post Rihanna, like, what is that actually? Because I think unless something was like major, it's never really going to hit like mainstream media.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's why, like, for people like me, when I see this, I'm like, the only recent thing that I saw Chris Brown do, for context of people that I think was like really outlandish, was recently he lost an award to Best R&B Album at the Grammys to Robert Glasper. Mind you, Robert Glasper is one of my favorite jazz musicians ever, and he was so incredibly petty about it, saying some like,
who the F is Robert Glasper?
Yeah, saying some like wild stuff,
and then he tried to come back
and apologize, and did the worst apology ever. Like, he started doing some things like, we're two black men in America, this shouldn't happen to us. I was like, just do a proper apology. Robert Glasper is an amazing musician. That's the most recent thing I've seen. Like, in terms of him being like respectful to women, like, what actually has that been? Like, opposed to Rihanna, which was disgusting.
Well,
after that, what has?
I mean, there was like the relationship with Karuchi, for example. Obviously, this is a few years back, but like, just the kind of, the stalking, the kind of, abuse allegations, the threatening, all that kind of stuff, and then putting her name in his mouth in the songs, like trying to put her name in. What's that song where it was like Karuchi, like trying to call her back and just being really possessive? So that whole thing was messy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying to find like there's probably a list. One sec. Like, it's just like that's the only one that comes to mind. But they're just repeated things. Obviously, like, back in 2012, him kind of being jealous of Frank Ocean and getting in a fight with him. All that kind of stuff. Just constant, just this antisocial kind of douchebaggy behavior throughout. It's like. What else? I mean,
and to be fair, with the content of his music, like, I was talking to my sister about this yesterday, and she was talking about like if she was talking to a guy and he said he listens to Chris Brown, and we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, yeah, that's a big red flag. Like, not just like artists like Chris Brown and The Weeknd, like the content that they make against women just never. It's not the Temptations. Yeah. It's not some soulful I love woman. It's a bit disrespectful. Literally. It's a bit looking at women as objects.
It's the thing is, it's like the way he's treated women and acted, and then the kind of lack of remorse in his behavior and his music as well. Yeah. Like, how are you going to be treating women like trash regularly and then to make a song called Hoes Ain't Loyal? And that's kind of, and not to mention, honestly, this is more of an artistic gripe, but also he's been making the same song since 2013. I'm sick of it. This dude does not make good music anymore. That's my opinion.
His voice has taken such a big hit.
Yeah, his voice is the same. But actually, I've got a list here of like the kind of legal troubles, right? So obviously 2009, him assaulting Rihanna, denied a visa to the UK. Let's see. Meltdown backstage in 2011. 2012 involved in a nightclub brawl. 2012 again, positive for marijuana. Now I don't judge that, but clearly was in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. Violates his restraining order. He attended a Halloween party so this is 2012. He attended a Halloween party as an Islamic terrorist. Rihanna was also at the party, which was a violation of the restraining order taken out against Chris Brown in wake of the assault. This was like in October, November. January 13, Chris Brown clashed with Frank Ocean. We talked about that. Chris Brown's probation is revoked in 2013.
Yeah. There's, I think if we say that, it continues.
Bro, hold on. Let me get through a few more.
Okay.
Still 2015. Chris Brown is arrested for felony assaults. Enters rehab. That's fine. Post with bipolar disorder, post-traumatic. Okay, that's fair enough. That's actually, that's worth knowing. Kicked out of Malibu. Okay, that's calm. That's calm. What else? 2014, he pleads guilty to assault for something else. Probation revoked again.
Okay, so
banned from entering Canada.
He never really got good.
Nah, never.
He never really got good.
Chris Brown is detained in the Philippines. That's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on.
Because I think for part of me, when I see something like that, I wish after that situation, like he was, bro, run it wall to wall, kiss. Chris Brown had a run like we've never seen. He was the it dude, man. And after that situation, I just wish that the dude actually like did a 360 somehow, and like, cause for the most of people who don't pay attention to all those like allegations that we see that he does, like when you see something like that, like, because it's been so long since the Rihanna situation, and you see him doing artists with Chloe Bailey, and you see the hate, like initially you kind of go straight to empathy and sympathy because you're just like, I haven't heard it, but like obviously we're not paying attention. So it's just a bit sad because like the dude is so talented, man.
It's sad, but it's also like, I think we kind of, because we all have like positive memories with Chris Brown, like, I mean, those songs were bangers, obviously, and all that kind of stuff. Like, the talent's undeniable, because we don't want to let go because of the memories we have and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, accountability. I'm not trying to make it like super deep, but accountability is like calling it when you call it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, because again, I'm not even saying necessarily that like I would have forgiven him if he made a 360, but it's like the fact that he did what he did with Rihanna, and then just like his behavior got worse, or I mean, obviously that was probably one of the worst things he did, but like there was kind of no remorse, because at that point he kind of made a switch. He did the bad boy image thing, and that's when kind of all the troubles continued.
Yeah,
even into now, you know what I mean?
The song "I Can Transform."
Exactly, yeah. And I remember when that dropped, and there was like a different Chris Brown, and it's like, but there was kind of no remorse in his actions for that, really. Whether or not he feels remorse or not, there was, and it's like, and because of his position in the game,
I think he does feel remorse, especially in that time. Like he was trying to apologize, and I remember one time seeing him on like an interview when he was like apologizing profusely to like one of these interviewers who was saying like, and like it was a bit sad watching him in that time because I think he was trying to make amends, but then the like interviewers or people who they were coming from and especially being someone who was not to bring race into anything, but like
black guy,
like I think the media at the time, especially in that 2009 to 2012 era, like wanted to kill him for it.
Definitely. But it's one of those, in terms of that aspect, it's one of those kind of awkward things where yes, the media is always going to look for an opportunity, but he deserved it. But he deserved it because it's crazy, you know what I mean? Like it really, like all the kind of stuff, like all the kind of grilling he got, all that kind of stuff, like that was very much deserved. And it's like, if he had, again, it's not that necessarily like he would have been like absolved or now we trust him, because that's not. I think you have to be careful about how you forgive you know, I know we're Christians and forgiveness is a thing, but I know you have to be careful about how you forgive and what forgiveness actually is. But again, it's just the lack of remorse in the behavior and in terms of, I guess, again, but that said, though, I mean, he's been very consistent. Like, he hasn't been surprising. He's been very consistent in his character since then. Like the reason why we haven't heard about these things is because, like, he did something really bad, and then continued to do bad stuff that's not as bad as that. That's you know what I mean? So it's just like, we've just gotten used to, that's kind of what Chris Brown does, which is another dangerous thing about kind of how we often treat people who do things. But I feel like the real question, I think, more than Chris Brown itself, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, we know about Chris Brown, we know what the vibes are. Some people still listen to him, some people don't, all this kind of stuff. But the bit that gets me is when someone like a Chloe Bailey collaborates with Chris Brown.
Hold on. Why are we only saying Chloe Bailey? Because if I'm an artist, right? Look, I came into this conversation to the viewers very naive, not knowing a lot of things about the actual. I didn't know about the Karuchi situation. Like, I didn't know
that
about
was
all
big,
these
bro.
assault
cases.
You know, for me, Chris Brown just was the Frank Ocean I knew about, but like, he's just been in the background.
Yeah.
But if I was someone who was in the music industry, like, if you've seen our podcast before, like, we speak about respecting women, we speak about masculinity and what that means. Like I hope at this point you know where our stance is on a lot of things, that Chris Brown would not be someone where we just like, let's be buddy with someone like that. Yeah. Especially if that's the way they treat women in their day-to-day lives. But now, if I'm an artist, how come we not looking at Drake sideways for collaborating with Chris Brown?
That is the thing, though. That's exactly the point. Like, it's like, I think we need to. That's a very good point. That is a very, very good point. I think it's. You know what? No, you actually got me there, to be honest, because it's. Yeah, man. No, you got me, because even though I'm aware of. Because generally, if I see Chris Brown I generally avoid listening to Chris Brown now.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally I'll allow myself some of the kind of classics before, all that kind of stuff. But generally, I try and avoid it. So if, like, say there's a song with you know, Drake featuring Chris Brown or whatever, I'll probably skip that just on principle. But that said, that's a really good point, actually, because the reason why that's a good point, you actually kind of called me out unknowingly, because basically, I kind of came into this topic being like, why is Chloe Bailey doing this? And I still have that question, but then you're right. The question is, well, why aren't we looking at these other people crazy? I think in terms of Chloe Bailey, the reason why there's a bit of that recent shock is, one, because obviously this just happened, but also because she is, and I talked a bit about it on my story, but she is, well, obviously a black woman.
Yeah.
And then she's also. She doesn't have any kind of black power or black woman power songs, but obviously the nature of her songs are very much, is very much sexual liberation, having fun, doing things my own way, not being under the command of someone else. Yeah. And so I said in my story, like, she both subtly and overtly kind of like, her branding is that of kind of like a woman who can do her own stuff or that kind of stuff. So her image and her brand collaborating with Chris Brown is very contradictory and jarring. Like, a lot of fans of Chloe, because like, I'm a big fan of Chloe and Halle, like them as the duo, and then now Chloe's been doing her own stuff. I haven't been as much of a fan, which that's not really super relevant. But a lot of the fans that have kind of followed her into this, basically they've been kind of looking at the situation and being like, it's baffling.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not following either of them, then it's just pop R&B collaborating with pop R&B. It's whatever. But if you're following, it's like, what's going on? And I think what's made it the final straw for a lot of Chloe fans is that, I mean, this song is gonna be big. This song is gonna do well. Of course, it's gonna do well. But I think for a lot of Chloe fans, I think why it's the last straw is because also since leaving Chloe and Halle, she's been making a lot of kind of pop rap R&B songs that are very just like, well, in my opinion, generic, like kind of want to be like kind of Beyonce Lemonade era, or no, what's the one with Drunken Love? What was that album? Oh, Beyonce, that was self-titled. That was a self-titled album, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay. But either way, you know when Beyonce was kind of doing her trap thing a little bit, basically?
Yeah.
That's basically all of Chloe's last singles. It's all that, and it feels, well, to a lot of people, it feels very forced, and she's like trying really hard to kind of be sexy and so that's a whole different thing. The point is,
I don't think she's trying hard, but
Sorry.
no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Let me actually, you know, let me interrupt real quick. You guys will hear the audio off my phone a little bit, but
wait.
No. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
But you'll see this clip. Maybe we'll. Actually, no, we won't.
I thought you were about to expose me. Like, did I say something? I was like,
No,
I can't remember a voice
no.
message that I sent you. I was like, that's crazy. Okay.
So like when I say like people are kind of like not really impressed or kind of think that she's doing it. This is like an example, right? So I'm gonna have to hold on. We'll have to.
Okay, for the audio listeners, we are just.
I'm just quickly showing Randall the Loving You cover.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a bit over the top.
That's what I mean. Over the top. Like I think a lot of people are saying it's over the top. Basically, this is a big tangent I've made, and I'll bring it back to the whole kind of like Drake thing, and the whole kind of other artists collaborating. Why don't we come for them? But in terms of Chloe, basically, just both her existence as a black woman, but just also her music, kind of again in both subtly and overtly, it doesn't make sense for her to be collaborating with someone who is like a known kind of abuser, and there's often kind of like degrades women in his music as well.
Yeah.
Now, bringing it back to what you were saying in terms of Drake, why are we not going at Drake? Well, I think that the answers for that, there are a few answers. I think the big answer is, and it's going to sound lame. It's going to sound really lame when but it's true. Patriarchy. We're going to give more of a pass. You're confused. Basically, in this society, there are certain things that we're going to give a certain pass to men for certain things that more than women, right?
Yeah. No, I think
the word.
It's a buzzword. So when you said that,
the word automatically goes to like that kind of stuff. No, but patriarchy without the word's been abused and misused the whole time, but it is real in the same way this racism is real, like in date, like we live in a racist society, we live in a patriarchal society, all that kind of stuff, that kind of sense.
I think personally, it's also a bit deeper, but I just think that in the sense that we actually, like, if these things are actually happening, it's only an issue like if a woman was to collaborate with Drake and not a male. Yeah, maybe it has something to do with that, but also it's just like we're not actually then holding Chris Brown accountable as well.
Yeah,
because
we haven't. Because his even through all those legal troubles, his career has endured and grown since all that kind of stuff.
So yeah, if then that's just we're not holding him accountable. It's a bit like an R. Kelly situation. Like before he got actually the case, before his interview with what's that lady?
That was legendary, that interview.
One of the interviews he had where he just broke down and cried, where people were actually holding him accountable. There was years of allegations and things that was happening beforehand.
Everybody in the industry knew exactly what he was doing,
and nobody was doing a thing about it. So I think Chris Brown just hasn't had that time yet where he's actually been held accountable.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because I think the kind of the factors as to why it's not happening is basically, obviously I said patriarchy already, but also just money. Like, he's a money maker. The industry doesn't want to get rid of him. They might put some buzzwords out or whatever, but if he's making money for people, because he's making money for a lot of people, not just himself, so that's going to be a big part of it. And also in terms of like other artists, well, again, there's the money aspect. Collaborating with him is going to make a popular song, but also if we're enjoying the music, then we're not going to want to.
Some talented people get a pass, and that's something that people don't really ever want to talk about.
And that's fascinating. That's why R. Kelly got away with it for so long until like finally it was just like okay, it's actually getting ridiculous.
Because people are gonna still banging Ignition in the till today.
Exactly. They might put it on private listening, but it's still happening. It's still happening.
Everybody wants to do the 1-2 step, but
exactly.
They won't publicly say that they're listening to R. Kelly. And we don't either. So yeah. No, I'm just joking. That's been a good conversation. I feel like leading off the last conversation we had, like in our last podcast as well. Why am I sounding like that? Anyway, our last podcast that we had, where we were speaking about masculinity, and at the end of it, we said like, don't just drag dudes, like just say they can do better. Like, going back to the first point I had, like at the start of this podcast, when I was like, I didn't know all these things happen with Chris Brown, but yeah, man, like like he's a talented dude. Like, surely use some of that talent and brains just to like, I don't know, man.
Well, then that's
become a better human being.
That's what you think, but I think that's that. Or then this is the other side of it as well. I think when you're that rich and powerful, accountability is hard to find. That's not to say that he's like a victim of being rich, but it's like when you don't have to answer to anyone. That's the danger of being rich and famous. Like when you don't have to answer to people.
Yeah. The funniest thing I saw with this whole situation actually was like they were clowning him. I think Diddy got involved, Puff Daddy as well, that got involved in the conversation. Apparently, like Twitter just started going in on Chris Brown, saying that he only goes for Asian girls. And he had to like prove himself. I saw like an Insta story he did where he had to just show in a club that he had 2 black girls next to him.
That's crazy.
He like circled it. He's like, see?
That's crazy.
So I just thought that was so hilarious that you had to prove to the world that like you don't have just one. You weren't just a sweet and sour type.
That's
but
nuts.
it's been a funny situation to see Chris Brown. I kind of hope that in the future, like, actually now it's a bit weird because now, like, do you know when you know, like, when you don't know, but then you find something out about someone, like, and like, you kind of wish for them to get well, but like now you're just like, but I still don't really just want to like listen to some of that music.
Yeah,
so I'm not actually a Chris Brown fan. I just thought this would be an interesting conversation. Like I'm like,
and well, actually, kind of on that point as well. One thing I'll say, and this is kind of me like calling myself out. Part of why it's been easy for me to like, it's easier for me to kind of like, you know, say I don't mess with Chris Brown because I also don't like the music anymore.
Yeah, I feel like after his like his Bad Boy era, he hasn't really made any good music after
No,
that.
but that's kind of a cheat code though, because that's kind of me not liking the music has done half the work for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's like so. Like I mean, even though I might call him out and might be like, people need to stop listening to him. In a sense, I'm kind of almost coming from a moral high. I'm not trying to come from a moral high ground, but it's like it's very easy for me to say when I don't like the music. But if it's someone whose music I actually love and adore,
yeah. Michael Jackson was a saint in my eyes, to be honest, and that's a story for another day. But
see, in my eyes, he wasn't, but he's not here anymore. So it makes it easy for me. That's a different conversation, and that's me exposing myself. That's me, like, you know, like.
This is going on what I said. Sometimes people are so talented that you're willing to like. Kanye West did some coonery for years, but then he drops one sample and people are back listening to Donda.
Yeah,
so,
man. Honestly.
It's just.
I mean, even my favorite writers, bro. I mean, like, I used to love Thomas the Tank Engine. No, but I still love Thomas the Tank Engine, right? That writer was racist.
Really?
C.S. Lewis. Like, you know, it was probably racist. J.R.R. Tolkien, definitely racist. But I will read Lord of the Rings and watch it anytime.
It's just a funny thing with art, and it goes so well with this Chris Brown situation. It's like, I don't know, art kind of sometimes lives above the person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's now it's kind of the whole kind of separating the art from the artist conversation. Like, it's. I think all we can really do is just kind of consume mindfully and just be aware of, like, look, if you like, it's tough. It's tough. I guess, like, there's kind of nothing we really, it's kind of up to you, but I think the big thing is just being mindful about how you consume art and thinking about it and being aware of, like, you know, in me doing this or consuming it in this way, am I empowering this person, if they're still alive, to do more harm?
Yeah.
In that sense, you know, am I validating their harm by consuming? And in some cases it might be, some cases it might not be.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Like with Harry Potter, for example, right? J.K. Rowling, as you know, revealed herself the last week to be like massively transphobic, right? Yeah. Now, I grew up loving those books. I love those books, but I already own the books. I'm not gonna buy any further merch. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We're not gonna do LeBron James to Miami where we're burning the t-shirts.
Well, yeah, because we already own the t-shirts, you know what I mean? I can't pretend like that book is like a big part of my childhood, but I can speak against it and not support any of the new stuff, you know what I mean? But I know that's just like a mini example, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not really going to be listening to any Chris Brown, to be honest, but I hope this conversation was good for the viewers. You guys can take it and do what you... If you wanted to listen to the new Chloe and Chris Brown feature, like, go for it. But I personally don't think it's going to be good music.
Yeah, let me just say on a side note, like, all this controversy, this single's gonna be R squared, bro. like